What's going on, Gains Associates? Welcome to the live stream, restream if you're rewatching this. Today we have an exciting project here in pSTAKE, and we've got Mikhail here, and he's going to answer for all of us some of the questions on whether or not we should be investing in this project. What's so special about pSTAKE, and how is it going to help change lives, revolutionize different industries? Like we need to figure it out and sink our teeth into it. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm just a lizard brain cowboy. Just joined up with Gains Associates. Love the platform. Love what we're doing here together. And if you're with me, guys, check out the Gains Associates token and everything that the platform has to offer. There's different levels and different tiers and stuff that you can get involved. It gives us the best opportunity to get in some of the best projects at the earliest, cheapest stages for some life-changing wealth. And so if that's something that you'd be interested in, especially some of these projects that are coming on board, hit subscribe down below, give us a like on this video, and let's type in any questions that you have for this particular question, and we can get to you. You also have a chance to win $100 through the course of a live stream just by asking questions, answering, and engaging. And our team is going to go in and select through the comments and through wherever else to select some winners. Now, just so you know, I'm just like you. I'm just an investor, okay? I'm someone who is trying to create life-changing wealth for me and my family, and we're trying to figure it all out, right? I want to know what are the best projects. And a lot of times when we do our research, right, everyone says DYOR, we do our own research, we go to YouTubers, and it's very difficult because they're all shilling, right? They're all they're talking about a project that they're getting paid for, so it's biased. And so at least I don't know if I could trust it. But this is why we do AMAs, because we get in the minds behind a particular project and get a good feel for them and ask them questions and clarify some vagueness around the project. So today we have the mind behind pSTAKE, a new project hitting the Gains Associates platform, and we have Mikhail here. Be sure to give him a warm welcome, guys. Mikhail, welcome to the channel.
Hey Aaron, hey everyone. Glad to be here. Look, very excited to be here. And I've been a part of the Gains Associate group for a very long time. I think two and a half years now. So I do, and yeah, very excited to talk.
Awesome. Guys, welcome to the channel, Riza and Riza Finna. All right, so we're gonna and Nandi. So we're gonna talk to Mikhail here. Mikhail, are you still there? You still got me? Looks like it's a little red over there. Hello. Let's see here, guys. Give me a one in the chat here if you guys can see Mikhail, and I'm gonna see if I can connect with some of them here. Let's take a look here. All right, guys, looks like we're experiencing a little technical difficulties. Let me see if I could take him off and then bring him back on and see what's going on. Ezra, what's going on? Leslie, how are you guys? Good to see you. So basically, we're talking about Mikhail. I could bring up some of what we're talking about today. Maybe, hopefully, he could be able to join us here. I know you guys aren't here for me, but we can see him but can't hear him. Okay, looks like he just ran off. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me go ahead and try to contact him. In the meantime, check out the links down below. I'll bring up what I think is oh, here we go. Is he here? Let's see. Mikhail, you here? Can you hear me? Hey.
I don't know what's wrong with my internet. I was
All
just
good.
switching to another internet. Yeah, so I was just talking about Gains Associates. So I was mentioning that I've been a part of the Gains Associate group for about 2 years now. And yeah, it's excited to be on the other side as well, speaking about things, right? Because I've been following a lot of projects that come and do AMAs in the Gains Associate group.
Gotcha. Okay, so you've been a part of the Gains Associate group, so one of us. Could you tell me a little bit about your background, like who are you, and then coming into crypto and your project here, but a little bit, background for some context.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mikhil Pandey. I've been a part of Persistence since 2019. So Persistence is the is the team that has developed pSTAKE. So pSTAKE is a project developed by Persistence. Persistence was launched in 2019, and the chain was the team was started building together. Like we came out of stealth in late 2019, early 2020, as far as I remember. but the project went live last year. The chain went live in April 2021. So Persistence is a Cosmos Tendermint based chain, which is looking to build like a liquid staking hub. So any liquid staking projects can build on top of Persistence and can leverage the applications that are built within the Persistence ecosystem. So pSTAKE is something that is the core of what we are trying to do at Persistence. So pSTAKE is the asset issuance protocol for Persistence. Now, when we say about asset issuance, maybe I should give a little more history about myself and how pSTAKE came about. So I got involved in the project as a market researcher at Persistence, started looking into protocols, saw the DeFi summer really closely, looked at a bunch of white papers, mechanisms for different protocols, token design, and that kind of intrigued me a lot. So when we're launching the Persistence token, which is XPRT, we did a stake drop campaign, which was a unique way of distributing the XPRT tokens to a bunch of stakers. So if you held Atom, if you're staking Atom, you were eligible to receive an airdrop of XPRT, which is which is the native token for Persistence. And through that experience, what we realized was that there are a lot of POS asset holders who are staking their assets and are looking to generate additional yield on top of staking rewards, because staking rewards is about 8, 9, 10%. For certain new chains, it could be higher than that. But when you compare staking rewards with DeFi yields, it's like, you see the difference, right? It's about like 100% to, obviously now we are not in the era of like 3-digit, 4-digit APYs anymore. But you still are always in this dilemma on whether or not you should stake your assets or whether you should supply liquidity or borrow against your assets. There's always that question mark. So with pSTAKE, that is what we intend to solve. You can stake your assets. The pSTAKE protocol will issue you a liquid stake representative token, which you can then use in DeFi. So essentially the flow would look like you have some amount of BNB, you bring that BNB onto the pSTAKE platform and you stake it. So after you stake BNB, the BNB that you've staked is earning staking rewards in the background, but the protocol will issue you a token which we call SDK BNB. Using this SDK BNB, what you can do is just put it on a DeFi platform like PancakeSwap, where you supply liquidity for SDK BNB. So you're also earning 6% staking rewards, but you're also earning rewards that are more than that because you're supplying liquidity. So that's like the most basic flow of what you can do with pSTAKE. And a little bit about pSTAKE. I lead pSTAKE, and we have a team that is focused solely on BNB, another team focused solely on Atom, another team focused on Ethereum, and we are also looking to expand to other chains. But currently, our focus is very much on BNB liquid staking.
Okay, so maybe I could summarize that, because you were talking above this lizard brain. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out here. So pSTAKE platform is a DeFi platform where we could go and bring our assets like BNB. And you said you're on Binance Smart Chain. Are you on? And you're on Ethereum, and you're working on other chains, right? That's right so far.
That's right.
So we stake that, and the reward we get back is XPRT, and that's attached to the BNB. Is that right?
No. So actually, let me try to explain this in a different way. So Persistence, you can keep that aside now. pSTAKE is what we are talking about. So pSTAKE has its own token called pSTAKE again. So we've tried to keep things very simple, not very creative here. Protocol is called pSTAKE. The token is called pSTAKE.
I like it. Simple for me.
As a user, you come onto, if you're staking BNB, imagine there's no pSTAKE, right? And you want to stake your BNB. You can stake it. You'll earn staking rewards in the form of BNB. But now that BNB is locked up, right? Because you have staked your BNB, so you can't use it for any other purpose. You've locked that asset up. But if you really want liquidity, now if suppose the market starts tanking and you want to withdraw your assets, you would have to wait for an unbonding period, which on BNB is 7 days. So you would have to wait for 7 days before you can withdraw your assets. Now that's a big problem, right? You don't want to be a part of obviously, if you're a long-term supporter, you would be more than happy to keep your assets staked, but people have families to support and whatnot, and everyone is looking to have as much liquidity as possible. So with pSTAKE or any other liquid staking protocol, what you can do is just bring your assets, stake it with the pSTAKE platform. You have BNB stake that is earning staking rewards in the background. So if you deposited 100 BNB and there's the staking rewards and BNB is 10% per annum. After the end of the year, you would have 110 BNB in the background. But the pSTAKE protocol will give you SDK BNB the moment you stake it. And that SDK BNB you can use for any other purpose. As long as you hold SDK BNB, you can always get back the underlying BNB. So if you started depositing BNB, so SDK BNB is going live on 8th August, which is Monday. If you stake BNB that day itself, you'd get 100 SDK BNB for 100 BNB. And you can do whatever you want to do with that 100 SDK BNB. As long as whenever you want to withdraw your BNB, you can essentially just swap SDK BNB on a liquidity pool for BNB, right? Because that's the whole point of having that token, because it allows you to have liquidity of assets.
Got it. Okay, so here's the problem. When I go and stake one of my assets, it's locked up for a period of time and I can't withdraw it, or maybe I don't want to. So what you do instead is you give me something in exchange, which is SDK BNB, and then I could use that instead while keeping my assets still staked on your platform. And then that way I have the best of both worlds. I could keep my assets staked, keep on getting the return, and then use this for whatever else I want to purchase or whatever, however else I want to use that. Is that about right?
That is absolutely spot on.
Perfect. Oh, wow. That is I could see the problem, and I could see how all of that would be solved by getting the best of both worlds. So help me understand, how secure is pSTAKE, persistence one, pSTAKE, all that stuff? Like, can you talk to me a little bit about the security? Because there's a whole bunch of things failing out here, and I'm a little scared. I'm a little skittish about the market. Can you talk to a little bit about the security behind it?
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you bring this point of security, because people should know the risks that come with certain products. So liquid staking, unlike staking, is not that secure, right? Because staking is the most proven way of earning fixed income, and it's the easiest way to participate in network security without risking up any of your assets. Obviously, there's the risk of slashing, but on the Binance chain, users don't face that risk, because it's the validators who are responsible for slashing. So that is a different problem altogether. But security in terms of any smart contracts would have risks, obviously. But the best that any project can do is ensure that smart contracts are well audited and as securely written as possible. So that's what we've done.
Kill. I think we lost him, guys. Oh, there we go.
Am I back again?
You're back. You're back, baby. You're back. Good deal.
It's a problem today. Apologies for that. But yeah, I was saying, in terms of security, the best that we could do is ensure that we are audited by as many auditors as possible, and good ones. So we've had the product audited by PeckShield and Halburn. Those are two really solid auditors. The other audit that we are ongoing and should be concluded by the end of day today is Certora. So Certora has a very different way of working with projects. They have something called formal verification, which looks at all the logic behind what you've built, and it's one of the best. So Certora very recently found a bug sitting in the Maker contract for the longest time, right? Because MakerDAO has been out there for so many years, and they found something really exciting in that. So Certora is something that definitely is super helpful to have that formal verification done through them. And we are also going to launch a bug bounty for about $300,000 after the product goes live on 8th. In addition to that, we have a lot of monitoring in place. So if anything goes wrong, anything goes wrong with the smart contracts, we've built bots using FOTA that will notify us that, okay, something is going wrong, and we can immediately look into this. But our overall plan is to keep getting the product audited with, through more auditors, to ensure that we mitigate as much risk as possible.
Awesome. So you've already got 2 audits in. Certora is going to get audited. You've got consistent monitoring. Help me to understand. You had $300,000 of what exactly? I couldn't hear you. That didn't come through.
Bug bounty. So we will be launching a bug bounty program through Immunify. So if any developer, any white hat hacker is looking into a code base and finds a bug, they can report it through Immunify to us, and they'll be paid out for that, for helping us out. So
Got it.
yeah,
Cool.
that will also be in place. So we have some incentives for white hat hackers to look into the code base and help us figure out bugs if there are any, right?
Yeah, good deal. Now, this concept is a little foreign to me. It might not be foreign to anyone in the chat. And which, by the way, what's going on, chat? Dairy, what's going on? Scream, Aaron or Aaron, sorry, what's going on? Cattell, what's going on? Arrow, welcome to the chat, guys. Be sure if you guys are liking what you're hearing so far about pSTAKE, give me a 1 in the chat. If you are hearing, like, let's see. What's something that you guys like? Put it in the chat. If do you guys like the audits more? Do you guys like the concept of it more? Also, don't forget to follow the social handles, stay updated. Yeah, be sure to check out the social handles down in the links down in the description below. Now, Mikhail, I'm a little foreign to. I'm a lizard brain cowboy, right? I don't really know this big technical terms. Is there anyone else out there that's doing like this, and what sets you apart from them? Like, is there anything? I've never heard of this concept where you stake. Once I stake, it's got like, it's over there, it's doing its thing. I didn't hear about something that I could use in lieu of that, in place of that. Well, is there anything else out there like this? And if so, like, how are you guys set apart from them?
Yeah, so the best example that most people out here would be aware of is Lido. So if you've looked at Lido, which is liquid staking DAO, they are live on Ethereum and a bunch of other chains. They aren't live on BNB chain, but they issue ST for your staked ETH. That is a little different to what we are doing, because ST you can't redeem back for ETH because withdrawals on the Ethereum chain are not enabled, right? ETH2 chain, you still need to do that. But now, when you talk about BNB chain and the BNB ecosystem, there's another protocol called Stader that launched their product today. I am yet to deep dive into their implementation, but seems like they're a solid team, and they are also looking to build a long term a product for the BNB chain. We have
Mhm.
Anchor ANKR protocol, which is not protocol. I think it's just ANKR Anchor, who've been live on BNB chain for the longest time. I think they were the first liquid staking protocol on BNB chain. And I'm not sure why they haven't had much traction, but they are a solid team. They are one of the bigger validators on POS chains, and they also provide other services. But for pSTAKE, why we think we have we have what it takes to be the best is because we come with a lot of background around POS chains. And so the persistence team, pSTAKE is developed by the persistence team. So a team within the persistence team is responsible for everything pSTAKE. But since so we were one of the earliest participants in Game of Stakes, which was the first ever proof of stake incentivized testnet for Cosmos. So Cosmos had the first ever incentivized testnet. Now we see all these incentivized testnets, right? But that was the first one ever. Then we participated in Game of Zones, which was the first ever inter-blockchain communication testnet. And so we've worked with the Cosmos ecosystem for about since 2018, 2019. So that is a lot of background. And BNB Beacon chain, the Binance ecosystem has two chains, which is one is BSC, which is now called BNB chain, where all the dApps live. The other is where staking actually happens in the background, which is the BNB Beacon chain or BNB chain, whatever you want to call it, Binance chain or BNB Beacon chain. So the Binance chain is built using Tendermint, which is the technology behind Cosmos as well. So since we have worked very closely with the Tendermint tech stack, it helps us quite a bit to build solutions for Binance and the Binance ecosystem. So that's what I think our edge lies in, just understanding the core technology behind Binance. But also at the same time, I think our goal is to become for SDK BNB to become the base asset of the entire Binance ecosystem. So instead of you having to use BNB to, let's say, supply liquidity, or using BNB to borrow any other asset, why not use SDK BNB? Because it's more capital efficient, right? Because you're also earning staking rewards in the background. So our goal will be to get SDK BNB integrated into as many protocols as possible. And I think speed, along with the technical knowledge that we have, gives us a very solid position in the market.
Got it. So I'm seeing that all kind of boil down to one thing, which is the team. The team has like a specific awareness or nativity to Binance. And so like you're saying how like we have a deeper understanding of the Binance ecosystem, and then your differently is your goals, that your goals would be to integrate with as many different things as possible here. So those are probably two different ways. And to me, that boils down to the team, which I really appreciate. That sounds awesome. We got a number of questions here. Maybe we could take some time to do that. Arnendt's asked this: how does pSTAKE secure the staked assets?
Yeah, that's a good question. So every asset that you deposit is deposited into a smart contract. So the moment you come to the pSTAKE platform and you click on like stake after you enter the number of BNB that you want to stake, that BNB is sent to a smart contract where it sits on a daily basis. That BNB gets staked on the Binance chain, and so we run a secure infrastructure, a secure backend service to move assets from the Binance Smart Chain to the Binance Beacon Chain, because BNB Beacon Chain is where the staking actually happens. So you have to transfer your BNB from the Binance BNB chain to the Binance Beacon Chain, BNB Beacon Chain. And for that, we use a backend service that does that. And we have an automated strategy bot that runs in the background that is responsible for doing the staking, delegation. So the assets are secure because, it's basically everything: smart contracts, the bot that we run in the background, the backend service that we have. Yeah.
Number of things: bot, backend service, putting it to another beacon chain. So good deal. Here we go. Here's another one. Hui says Persistence is a layer 1 network hub built with Cosmos and the Tendermint consensus engine. My question is, how will this help drive adoption and utility of the PoS asset, proof of stake asset?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So before I answer this, I think it might be more useful to talk about the relationship between pSTAKE and Persistence and how each of them add value to the other. So pSTAKE is responsible for issuance of asset. When I say issuance of asset, users stake assets, stake PoS assets like BNB, Atom, ETH, Sol, a bunch of assets in the future. And pSTAKE will issue you SDK assets for each of these corresponding assets, right? So it will be SDK BNB, SDK Atom. Now for pSTAKE is a Cosmos-based chain, which means it is so Cosmos is a very different technology to what we've seen in the past. Cosmos is not a standalone chain, right? Cosmos Hub is the chain for Atom, which is the token for the Cosmos Hub. But within the Cosmos ecosystem, there are a lot of chains, and all these chains are PoS chains. Now, what would happen in the future is pSTAKE will issue assets like SDK Atom, SDK XPRT, which is Persistence' own native token, will issue assets like SDK Osmo, which is another Cosmos-based chain, SDK AKT, and so many other chains. Now, when SDK assets are issued, the biggest question is, what do you do with them, right? Now, there are traditional borrowing lending platforms where you can take SDK Atom or SDK BNB and deposit them as collateral to borrow some other asset against it. You can do that. Or you can just supply liquidity to a DEX. But those DEXs, borrowing lending platforms are not tailored for liquid staked assets. Why do I say this? Because liquid staked assets are generating yield in the background. So, right, because assets are staked in the background, PoS assets, and this liquid stake token is representing that staked asset plus the yield that is generated on those staked assets. So Persistence chain will have a bunch of unique applications that are tailored for liquid staked assets. So you can do a lot of exciting things with liquid staked assets, like self-repaying loans. You can have a DEX where have to worry about impermanent loss, for instance, can be done in the background. And those are the applications that will exist on the Persistence chain. And pSTAKE and users can just these applications on the Persistence chain.
I think I lost you there from when you were talking about the DEX. You said to self-repay loans. That was very interesting to me. What were the other use cases for it?
So actually, let me talk a little bit about the thought process. So if Uniswap is the normal AMM XY equals K, same as Balancer and a bunch of other DEXs. Then came Curve, which came up with the concept of stable swap and wanted to make sure that when you're trading between or swapping assets between like stable that are like for like, so USDT, USDC, you don't face a lot of slippage. Now comes the third part, which is liquid staked assets. So if you supply liquidity for, let's say, SDK Atom and let's say you supply liquidity for SDK BNB and USDC. Now, what would happen is, since SDK BNB is yield generating, there'll always be this concept of impermanent loss. But a DEX that is tailored for assets that are yield generating might not face this issue. So similar to how Curve was an innovation in the stable swap in the like for like asset market.
Man, Mikhail always gets good.
I think I'm having internet trouble.
There we go. Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay. You were talking about impermanent loss here, or getting into that.
Yeah. So, when you talk about a DEX that can solve a problem for an asset that is always yield generating, that is an innovative use case. So this is what it is all about.
Gotcha.
Man, so persistence chain will have a lot of these innovative applications that are already being built, and pSTAKE will take care of the asset issuance aspect.
Good deal. I don't know if you see the chat, but it's lighting up here. Let's see if we could get to some of these here before our time is up. Here we go. Let's just go to Nadi. What extra value does staked assets have over the normal asset? How will its benefits developers? Secondly, how does one become a valid? I think we answered the first one, for the most part of this first question here. So maybe the second one, how does one become a validator on the pSTAKE network?
So pSTAKE is not an independent chain. pSTAKE is an application built on top of multiple chains. So pSTAKE does not have a validator set, but pSTAKE does delegate a lot of the users' assets that are deposited to different validators, because staking is the business, right? So whatever assets are getting deposited by users are getting staked on a bunch of different validators on that chain. So we have a very different way of actually. Right now, what we do is we have a scoring mechanism where we pick a certain number of parameters that we want to look at, which is number of blocks that a validator has missed, or the commission that the validator charges, basically how many times was the validator slashed in the past, and based on those parameters we come up with a scoring mechanism, and we choose X number of validators to delegate to. Whoever falls within that set, we delegate assets to. So yeah, but there is no pSTAKE network as such. There is no chain that pSTAKE has, and thus no one can run a validator node for pSTAKE because it's an application.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so it's on top of money chains, not its own chain. Here, Tung says, I understand that pSTAKE will unlock the liquidity of staked assets. This is wonderful, but in the medium to long term, will it not negatively affect the platform?
Very, very good question, and thank you for asking this. So, what a lot of people tend to think is that liquid staking is bad. Why? Because a lot of these users' deposits are coming to one platform, which then delegates assets to the underlying chain, right? So there is a risk of stake centralization. There is a risk of manipulation and a lot of things. But what we at pSTAKE want to do is actually help decentralize the underlying chain. So if pSTAKE, let's say pSTAKE has a million BNB deposited. Now that's a lot of BNB that is deposited on the platform. And pSTAKE, what we want to do is, instead, as a user, what you would actually do if you had a million BNB was to maybe, if you're a sophisticated user, you delegate it to 4 or 5 validators or 10 validators. What we do is, for non-sophisticated users, we delegate those assets across a bunch of these validators. So we help you diversify your stake to different validators so that you earn the best yields, and at the same time also secure the network by distributing the stake, because networks with stakes centralized are not really with just a few validators that have a lot of stake, it's not very solid, right? So you would want the network to have the stake distributed across as many validators as possible, and that's what pSTAKE intends to do for these chains. I can't hear you for some reason, Aaron.
Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. What's your strategy to attract new users and investors and maintain it in the long term?
Yeah. So how do I? Yeah. So the question is, do we want to run to attract a lot of investors, or do we want to do it sustainably? Now, one could obviously have like 1,000-2,000% APR at launch and get a lot of users, but they might as well just run away after those incentives run out. What we want to do instead is make sure that there are use cases for these SDK assets. So we want to make sure that SDK BNB is so ingrained in the cost in the Binance ecosystem and other ecosystems that whenever you want to do something exciting, if you want to borrow some assets, you think that, okay, why should I borrow against BNB when I can do it for SDK BNB against SDK BNB? So integrations will be really important. We want to make sure that people can stake through any wallet. Don't have to think, okay, I can't use this wallet to stake BNB through pSTAKE. You should, as a user, be able to make that decision of which wallet you want to use. It is our responsibility to make sure that you can stake through that wallet. And so that's our goal, where we want to be integrated with almost like every major platform in the Binance ecosystem to ensure that people who hold BNB can stake them and want to stake them because they get better opportunities by using SDK BNB.
Got it. So you want to focus on use case and integrations over incentives because the incentives will be running out. I was looking through the comments here. Arrow has that same question. So it's one of those things. They just want to integrate as many projects as possible in the future. I know we answered this already, but maybe this is a different way to ask it. What are SDK assets? What are they used for? Are they purchased or created by the system?
Yeah, so they are created by the system. So how it works is, as a user, when you deposit X amount of tokens in the pSTAKE protocol, the protocol will look at the number of tokens deposited, and based on that and a few other things like the exchange rate, which I don't think we need to get into, but based on that, the smart contract will mint newer tokens, which is the SDK BNB token. Now, when you want to get BNB back, obviously the smarter way to do is just sell SDK BNB for swap SDK BNB for BNB if you want BNB back by using a DEX or a centralized exchange if SDK BNB is listed on a centralized exchange. The other way is to just unbond it, which is how you would usually unbond your staked assets if you're not liquid staking. And when you do that, you have to send your SDK BNB to a contract which burns it, and BNB is given back to you after the unbonding period or the waiting period. So it is created and burned based on deposits and redemptions.
Got it. Riza asks, can you guys do NFTs? I wonder if persistence can transact digital goods like NFTs. It's all the rage.
We haven't looked into that yet, but something for the future maybe.
Gotcha.
At persistence, the focus is only liquid staked assets, and that's where we are going to be focusing on.
Got it. Yeah, it hasn't even launched, guys. It hasn't even launched. Let's get the liquid staked assets going on here first. What about the P bridge in the ecosystem?
Yeah, so P bridge is specifically used for a product that we have for pSTAKE. So pSTAKE is live for SDK. So we have SDK Atom and SDK XPRT, the two other tokens that pSTAKE supports. For those tokens, we issue. So right now, if you deposit BNB, SDK BNB is issued to you in the Binance ecosystem on the Binance Smart Chain or the BNB chain. But for SDK Atom, SDK XPRT, the assets are not issued on the Cosmos chain or the persistence chain. SDK Atom, SDK XPRT are issued to you as ERC20 tokens on Ethereum. For that, we need a bridge, which is the bridge between Cosmos and Ethereum, and that's the role of P bridge.
Gotcha. Just to be playing on multiple chains. That's why the P bridge is needed. We kind of use this already. Maybe I'll take my best shot at summarizing that for you. But where can I use SDK BNB after launch? It's liquid. You could use it in different DeFi protocols. Liquid staking main purpose is receiving yield on top of staking yields. So what integrations will be live on SDK BNB?
Yeah, thank you for asking this question, because I anyway wanted to talk about this. So we will be so there will be an SDK BNB pool on PancakeSwap, and you can swap SDK BNB for BNB or vice versa on PancakeSwap. You could also supply liquidity to earn yields because there will be incentives for the pool, and that is obviously dependent on the governance proposal on PancakeSwap to pass, which is already live. So if you hold cake, you can go and vote on that governance proposal. If the proposal passes, there will be incentives allocated to the SDK BNB pool. We'll also be integrating with Alpaca, which allows you to leverage yield farms. So instead of you supplying liquidity, you can take leverage to supply liquidity on PancakeSwap. We are also working on other integrations with yield aggregators, with borrowing lending platforms, and which we are in the early stages of. So right after launch, we'll be integrated with PancakeSwap and Alpaca. Yeah.
So PancakeSwap, Alpaca, yield aggregators, and borrowing and lending platforms. Look, there's a ton of questions. I'm not sure if I could possibly get to this. Maybe you could get to them at the end, but I'd like to give you free reign in the last 5 minutes here or so. What is the most exciting thing that's coming up next? I'm guessing it's the launch here at August 8th. Guys, make sure to check out all the links down in the description for all this information, August 8th. Is there anything else that's left on the table that we haven't talked about that is it like a burning in your belly here that you need to let us know that's imperative?
I can maybe, yeah, it's a tough question because I think we've talked about a lot of things. But what I would say is liquid staking is truly, what takes DeFi to the next level, because every POS chain that you look at, whether it's, Ethereum is now transitioning to POS, and obviously it's a very large chain, so it's a different thing for them. But any other POS chain that you look at, it's obviously Binance itself is a very big chain and super secure, because even with $6 billion worth of assets staked on the Binance chain, it's a very large amount. And any chain to grow beyond a certain point, you need to make sure that the chain is both secure and has a lot of activity and a lot of applications being built. So those are two things: one is security, one is the ecosystem on the chain, within the ecosystem. What usually happens is you eat by sacrificing on security, because all the, let's say, all the POS assets of a particular chain are just being used to secure the chain. Now that's not good, because there's no activity on the chain because everything is staked. On the flip side, there could be a scenario where everything is being used in DeFi, but the chain is not secure because not a lot of assets are staked. You need assets to be staked for security of the chain. So what liquid staking allows chains to do is to have both of them together, right? Because you can stake your assets, get liquid staked assets, and use them in DeFi. So for any chain to grow beyond a point, I think liquid staking will be a critical piece of the puzzle, and that's what we are. That's what we plan to help. That's where we plan to help the ecosystem, the entire crypto ecosystem with. And yeah, we are going live for SDK BNB with SDK BNB on 8th, and that should be super exciting. We have a bunch of other features in the pipeline that we'll be working on for our V2 and subsequent versions. We'll over time make sure that the protocol is.
I think we lost him a little bit more, guys.
Yeah, that's about it.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So let me see if I could wrap that up in simple terms for me and anyone else who wants to break that down. You said basically breaks down into two things: security and ecosystem. Ecosystem breaks down into two things: liquidity and application or use case. And that sometimes you sacrifice one for the other. But the important thing here is just making sure that that the future of any particular chain includes liquid staking, because it opens up, it frees up the capital for investors like me to be like, okay, now how can I stay being able to move within this ever changing, like, crazy market. So I really appreciate all that. Guys, be sure to check out August 8th. Check out all the links down in the description down below. What's the best way to get involved in this project, Mikhail?
I think so. We have a few, socials. One is obviously you can be involved through our Telegram and be a part of the community. The other is to actively contribute to everything that we are doing. So you can post all your ideas, whatever. We have a bunch of discussions on our forum. So you can go to forum.pSTAKE.finance and you can participate in governance discussions. Then obviously we have the snapshot where governance actually happens. So there are proposals live on pSTAKE governance on Snapshot, which you can go and vote on if you hold any pSTAKE tokens. So those are the best ways to participate. You can also follow us on Twitter if you want to have full visibility on what we are up to. We'll keep providing updates.
Perfect. Guys, check out all the links down in the description below. Thank you all for joining this live stream. Mikhail, you are the biggest brain man I've ever talked to, man. You're making my brain seem so hurts right now. So be sure, I'm going to look over my notes. And if you guys are still interested, head over to the Telegram or the Twitter. Ask these questions. There's so many more. We just didn't have time to get to them now. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in the next stream. See you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks,
Oh, and by the way, subscribe to these guys. Follow them and subscribe to the Gains Protocol channel. Give us a like if this was like the most alpha that you guys got.